Or for you guys to understand what's going on with your child,
right?
How things, everybody does it different,
right?
But you can get on this and understand how things look, what they expect for your child. If he's gone a long time, this is what's going on, and you should be able to talk to your coach at some point in time and say, "Hey, coach, let me get a schedule of what y'all got going on."
Right.
And he mentioned it when we first opened up about giving people chances to go on vacation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my deal was, and his deal was too, I wanted to put my guys in the best possible situation to go to college.
Yes.
Can't do that without academics.
No.
So we're gonna do study hall. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do everything we can do to make sure your GPA and your credentials are high enough to where you can go play college football.
That's right.
Because a lot of your kids are gonna go to D3 NAIA schools where the most money you're going to get is because of academics.
Exactly.
They don't give football scholarships.
No doubt.
You might get a little supplement here and there.
Yeah.
But most of your free money, when
they
you go,
call it a football scholarship, but it ain't a football scholarship.
You're going to have to get academic money.
Right.
So
that's right.
Academics to all coaches, players, parents, got to be number one.
That's right. And there again, Coach, if I practice Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and I started it because it's so hot in South Georgia. I felt like the Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon practices outside were so draining. Another thing, on Thursday afternoon in Georgia, we play JV games. 9th grade, JV, middle school, all those games were played on Thursday afternoon.
That's right.
And I didn't want to split half of my coaching staff up to go to a JV game and the other half stayed and practice with the varsity.
It's a long week.
We all practiced Thursday morning.
Yep.
And then we all, depending on if I had a separate staff for JV and 9th grade or if it was varsity coaches having to pull double duty, that way after practice after school on Thursday, we could focus on the JV game. We didn't have the other things to worry about, and I just felt like it was a great way to also give our players Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon off for tutoring, and those teachers really appreciate it, man. I tell you what. Just giving them a little time in the classroom with the teacher after school, and it really helped your academics. Because I'm going to tell you something else, guys. Another thing, the quickest way to getting shown the door is letting those kids' academics fall.
Ain't no doubt about it.
I mean, listen, we all want to win. Don't get me wrong. We got to win football games.
Ain't no doubt about it.
But you got to keep them grades up. You can't sit there and have half your team ineligible for spring practice because you didn't keep the grades up during the fall. And like I say, so it's a very important thing.
Coach, let me ask you a question. How did you handle your varsity guys? You wanted them to go support freshmen in JV.
Right.
But that's a long, they wouldn't have to be at school 6:30 in the morning. They had to go to practice. Then they go watch the JV game, the freshman game, and the JV game. And they could be out there at 11 o'clock at night.
Coach.
I used to give them a curfew.
Me too. I used to tell them jokes. I better not see you out on Thursday night past a certain time.
Yeah.
I
just give them a curfew.
I'm the same way. And I tell you something else. I better not see you in the park playing basketball or running around. If you got that kind of energy on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon, we can practice.
Nah.
Because I don't want you out. I'm doing this. Do you a favor to get you off your feet because I want you fresh for Friday night. And I want you to. And
I didn't want to see them out there throwing footballs on the sideline.
No.
Like everybody sitting in the stands.
I made my varsity sit in the stands. I never let them go down to the sideline.
You're not going to be on the sideline throwing footballs.
No.
Giving people high fives.
No.
Because, you have to have a certain amount of energy.
Right.
Going into the game.
And like I say, if it was a home game, then y'all can come to the game. But now, I really didn't want them. I strongly discouraged them to go to away games.
Maybe unless they had a brother playing on the team or something like that. But
I just talked to the parents about it, and I explained to parents what our thought process was, and a lot of times parents understand that and everything. I mean, it's something you can't enforce it probably as much from the standpoint of you can't punish a kid for doing it, but at the same time, it goes back to your culture you've built and the respect you have from your players. And also the respect you have from the parents.
Right.
Because if they trust you, they gon' pretty much support what you say.
Coach, how did you handle your filming of the games?
Ooh, see, that's another thing this week you need to make sure you got. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I ended up here's what I did because man, I'm gonna tell you, you get volunteers and everything, and it turns into a cluster, and you get bad film, and you just get. You either have to have sub-varsity coaches film it for you,
Right.
you know, like your middle school or ninth grade coaches film it for you, or you just have to pay someone.
Yes, sir. That's
you
what
know?
I did. I paid quick cut.
If you
cut someone.
if you pay two people, you pay an end zone and a sideline guy, maybe three if you want a sideline tight and wide,
right.
and maybe an end zone tight. You know, if you whatever, it depends on what you want. You know, I think it's money well spent, and you just don't want to cheap out on film, man.
Well, my thing was, you know, I have to prove to a college that you can take this kid based on film.
Right.
And if I got some film and some guy filming some girl and coming back,
that's right,
and the quality is bad, and he ain't shooting in HD, how could I prove to a college coordinator
that's right
that they need to take this kid?
Yeah.
So I really feel like high school coaches, administration, staff, whatever, who's ever in charge of that, you guys need to make sure that filming probably is damn near number one on your budget.
And I'm gonna tell you something. If you're using a sub-varsity coach to do it, pay him too.
Pay him.
Pay him. Give him an extra supplement. That's an extra duty for him. Give him
right.
Unless you got them all coming to the game working anyway, which I have been in places where all the ninth grade coaches and middle school coaches had to come to the game on Friday night. That was part of their deal.
They used to run our concession stand.
And you can have a couple of them, but the thing about it is when you pay somebody to do something, they're going to do a better job. And then if they don't do a good job, you can actually call them in and get on them about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And say, but how you going to get on somebody that's volunteering? You know, because that's the thing.
That's right.
And hey, another thing right here, Coach, you want to get all your equipment handed out, your locker room assignments for your players. Which there again, a lot of you may already have that done because, like I say, that June and July, there's so much going on with camp, 7-on-7 OTAs, you know, daily lifting and everything. A lot of that already be done. If you haven't done it already, this is the week to do it.
Well, Coach, this was one thing I couldn't do because of my attitude. I had an attitude problem about it. Numbers. I assigned that to one of my other coaches. He's a veteran, former head coach. But I was like, bro, just so I won't hurt nobody's feelings,
right.
and you handle numbers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, I'm an old school dude, you're an old school dude. I didn't have to have my Pop Warner number at Florida State.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't care what number you give me.
Right.
Put me on the field.
Right.
I'm going to earn a starting position.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So numbers, parents can even get a little funny about numbers.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the number don't make the players, guys.
No. And I'll tell you something else. What I used to do was this. I used to give, first of all, if a player was a returning player, he had dibs on the number he had to give.
Absolutely.
But I would always have a list of numbers that were open based off the roster that was returning. And I would give the seniors a first chance to change their number. If they wanted to change their number, you know. Now, I tried to discourage that. I'll be honest. I didn't want to.
If you never started, you ain't getting number one.
Well, exactly. Well, the thing about it is you know, that's exactly right. But the thing about it too, and I used to talk to them, to our seniors that wanted to change. Hey, man, this college has looked at all this film on you from your junior year, you've been number 23.
Great point.
And now all of a sudden, you want to be number 3 because you want a single digit.
Great point.
And they're like, Coach, who is he? I'm looking for 23. You know,
that's happened so many times.
So I would discourage that. You know, I wore number 11 all throughout high school in football and baseball. I didn't never want to change. And the only time I changed was my senior year in football. Somebody stole my jersey. I had to change number 80. Whoever's got my dang jersey, I need my jersey back.
They probably still got it.
They still got it, Coach. I promise they got it. But anyway, I used to give all the returning guys, senior, junior, sophomore, dibs on changing their number first. But what I would do is I just tell everybody, give them a sheet. Hey, write me your 3 number choices down in order. And that way, if I looked at it, and I could pretty much figure out who was going to get what number based off of that and everything. And if it come down to where 2 guys were fighting for the same number, you know, I was like Coach Prime. We practiced for it. You know, whoever practiced the best.
Whoever come out on top in the end, they get the
exactly.
number.
That's right.
Yeah, Coach Prime do it the
That's
same
right.
way.
Hey, another thing now. This is the week to host those team meetings. Give your expectations, code of conduct, vision for the season. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what, I would go ahead and tie that into my parent meeting. Absolutely. I'd have a time that night where the players came and talked to them, and then I let the players go. you know, maybe with another coach to another room area, or they could go ahead and leave if they could drive. And then I had a meeting with the parents, you know. But like the ones that they were riding with the parent, I would have some activity set up in a, you know, maybe a movie or something set up with a coach, and or just something for them to do while I met with the parents.
Can I suggest one of those line items on the code of conduct?
Yes, sir.
You know, when I played at Florida State, I played for Coach Bobby Bowden.
Yes, sir.
He only said one rule: do not embarrass the program.
Yep.
You could take that 1,000,000 miles to the end of the earth and back. Do not embarrass the program. And that's one of the main, if a player can remember that, Coach. That's right. He will never get in any trouble.
That's right. Exactly.
All right.
That's exactly right. Well, Coach, we coming down to the last week of July. I'm gonna wind this up, man. You know, the last week, you know, any final checks on the logistics like water, ice, med kits,
yes, sir.
practice scripts.
Yep.
You know, guys, go ahead and get those practice scripts done. Don't be doing those day to day. Have that planned out. Have your installs planned out. All that should be done. Also, if you do a, you know, there again, and we're aging ourselves a little bit, your pre-camp conditioning and ready assessment for your players.
Yes, sir.
I know some coaches still do those. I can remember, you know, we used to have to run 400s. We used to have to run the mile plus mile.
Yep.
There's some different things we've had to do. You know, you know, later in my career, I got to where I made everybody run 6 200s timed with a minute rest in between, depending on your position. You had to make your times. If not, then you were gonna get a little extra conditioning.
Absolutely, and we knew that 100% everybody wasn't gonna make it.
Right.
But you could tell, even if they didn't make it, you can tell who was putting in work.
That's right. And you're just trying to give them something to work towards and everything. And then you know, finally reaffirm team expectations, locker room culture, and performance goals. So like I say, all this last week of July, you just kind of wrapping up things. You getting ready to go into August. You getting ready to come into mandatory practice time. There's no more volunteer practice time. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of things that change once August gets here in terms of the expectation, because it ramps up each month. I'm gonna tell you what, we're at the end of our list, Coach, but I'm gonna give all the guys a free one out here. Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all a free one.
Yep.
All right. We have not mentioned Picture Day. Picture Day is a huge headache for head coaches. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you right now, what it has morphed into through the years is unbelievable. I mean, hey, listen, more power to you. I know parents want to get their pictures, and they want to do all the flame throwing in the water, you know, coming up out of the water and all that kind of stuff. Hey, do you? But coaches, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you can plan Picture Day after school on the first day of school, I guarantee you'll be good. Because, hey, listen, the first day of school practice is going to be terrible. I'm going to tell you. Don't even, hey, listen, don't get your mind right. Get your mindset. Hey, guys, first day of school practice is going to be bad. So you know what? I don't even practice first day of school no more. I wouldn't even practice first day of school because, boy, they done got all dressed up that day, and they done got to see their girls, and they got their new Air Force Ones and their new kicks on and all that. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need a day set aside for Picture Day anyway. That ain't no better day. I'm telling you right now.
You know what else, Coach? You know what else we didn't talk about? Coaches, please have some type of counseling session with kids and parents who want to take their kids to all these camps.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like I done had kids missing a whole summer trying to go to camps. They're young guys, and the experience is cool, but even older guys who like, man, Coach, I'm going to Alabama camp, going to Ohio State camp, and you're a 5'9" lineman.
Right.
Be able to have honest conversation with your players and say, hey, man, look, why don't you just go to the Valdosta State camp, go to the D2 camps, because right now that's where your evaluation is.
That's right.
I'm gonna give your kids an honest evaluation on what college level they're at.
And guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't let summer camps, keep your mind off the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yes, sir.
I mean, hey, pick you a couple college camps, go do your thing. Enjoy yourself. Go do your thing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you when I was at Grayson, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I coached Wanye Morris, who's with the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Mm-hmm. I coached Owen Pepo, who's with the Phoenix Cardinals right now. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough to, I've coached a lot of really good football players that, I think in 2 years I had 10 Under Armour All-Americans there. Mm-hmm. And we sent a lot of kids to college. I got several kids in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. Chase Bryce is played in the Canadian League. I mean, I can keep naming guys. I got guys that, just got drafted. Mm-hmm. But those guys did not miss football practice in the summer. Nope. Not for no camp. Nope. They would go to camp on days that we had off or on weekends that we wasn't doing anything. But I'm going to tell you right now, I coached Owen Pepo from the time he was in the 9th grade right on up. Mm-hmm. And he never missed a day.
Coach, what about in the spring when the coaches start showing up? I'd turn my practice into a camp.
No doubt.
We break off in one-on-ones,
no doubt.
Receivers, DB.
No doubt.
And I had an O-line, D-line over there doing one-on-one. When I see like 5 or 6 coaches show up, it turns into a camp.
Yeah. We had, I can remember when I was at Grayson, there would be times, first day of spring practice, we might have 50 coaches on campus. We were just blessed to have that many players and everything. And
you always schedule, when you find out that what time they're all kind of coming, I would have a weight room session.
Right.
And especially during when there was no practice. And then I would take it out to the field and do a 7-on-7 and they just follow me, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
It's going to camp, especially in Florida and Georgia, there's so many kids there. And it's so hard to get picked out of those lineups.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just depend on your film and your play. And when they come see you practice, that still goes, I think that takes you farther than camps.
Well, like I say, pick you a couple of them, have that experience, get on that campus. Mm-hmm. We love it here at Colorado. We have camps and we enjoy having players on there. And we have actually found some players that stood out. We got a tight end right now that's here that he got offered last year by Coach Prime at one of our camps.
That's right.
But my thing is he's right. You got some parents that are sitting there taking their kid. You got to count every day for like 2 weeks, and you've missed 2 weeks of high school football practice, and then you get back and you wonder why you don't know the plays and why you're not starting. And listen, the best ability is availability. The high school coach, listen, let me tell you something right now. Plan your schedule, go to where you need to go, but don't let it consume your summer. That's all we're saying. Don't let it consume your summer.
And plus, you need time off too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just go to camps all summer and then go to your own training and then play games, school starting. You're going to be mentally burnt out.
That's right.
And football is probably at least 95%.
No doubt. Well, Coach, man, we're going to wrap this live session up. I have enjoyed the heck out of this, man.
I wish I could have watched this when I got my first head coaching job.
No doubt.
Man, I didn't know none of this.
No. Hey, listen, back when I got my first head coaching job, all these head coaches were like, it was like they had their stuff locked up. They didn't want to tell you any secrets. They didn't want to help you.
No, they don't tell you nothing.
Unless you knew one of them personally.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Raven Teague and Rick Tomlin. Those two guys were willing to help me as a young coach and really gave me a lot of valuable knowledge when I was on their staff and everything.
Sam Sirianni, Fort Myers High School. Anthony Dixon was at South Fort Myers during that time. He ended up on my staff as my assistant head coach and offense coordinator. And every time I called, he'd help me out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So big ups to Coach Dixon and Coach Sirianni.
Well, Coach, man, we got to get out of here. We got to get back to work. And this has kind of been like work to me. I've learned a lot just talking to you, Coach. I've enjoyed it. So, hey, and then drop your email in the comments. Yes, drop your email in the comments.
And we'll email you this.
We'll email you this list we got here. We sure will.
Yes, sir.
So, hey,
make
drop
sure you
your
like
email.
and follow.
Like and follow.
Like and follow. Like and follow.
Hey, also, you got a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, sir.
I got a YouTube channel. It's at Coach Pollock CU, and yours is?
And mine is the championship mindset.
Hey, go check our YouTube channels out. Man, I've got a lot of X's and O's, offensive football I talk about. Coach Chaney talks about a lot of motivational stuff, a lot about recruiting. So you parents that are trying to figure out this recruiting game, his channel's a great channel to go to, and I promise he's giving you some good advice. So, hey, subscribe to our YouTube channels, like and follow right here on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok. We have all formats, and you know, we just love talking football. And like I say, we've enjoyed it. Hey, and until next time, go Buffs!
Yay!